Okay, we're going to work through some of the day 3 homework where we analyze graphs using interval notation. So let's start with the first one, number 1. It's a line. That means it goes on forever in both directions. So if I'm looking at my domain, which are x values, this line is going to go on forever. And as it goes on and on and on, it's going more and more this way in the positive x direction, which means it's getting closer and closer and closer to infinity. It will never reach infinity, but it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. It's also continuing to go this way, and as it goes down this way, my x values are getting smaller and smaller. So it's going to be going forever in the negative infinity direction as well. And typically for lines, unless you have a hole in it somewhere, it is going to be the domain from negative infinity to positive infinity because it goes on forever. So again, that's what these arrows mean. Same thing for range. It is going up as well as going to the right, and it keeps going up, 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 and it's going to keep going on forever and ever, which means these y values are going to get bigger and bigger. And on this side, it's going down, 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 which means they're going to get smaller and smaller. So my range is also negative infinity to positive infinity. So now my x-intercept crosses right here. And when you write x-intercepts as a point, the x comes first. So my x is -2, and of course my y is 0. My y-intercept right here, it's at 0, 1. So when you're writing your x and x-intercept, there should be a number in the x spot and then a 0. If it's a y-intercept, there should be a number in the y spot and then a 0. Remember, we write points like this, x, comma, y. X comes first. Think alphabetical order. Okay, so now we're looking at increasing intervals. This is a positive slope. It's always increasing. So think about increasing. We go from left to right. It's going uphill, right? Increase. I'm going uphill. This is positive slope. I am increasing, increasing, increasing. And the whole line is increasing all the way from down here, which we said was negative infinity, all the way to positive infinity. It is increasing forever. It is never decreasing. For a line to decrease, it would have to have a negative slope. There is no constant part. Remember, for it to be constant, it would have to be a horizontal line. And there's no horizontal line part of this graph. All right, the last part we need to look at is our end behavior. As x approaches negative infinity and as x approaches positive infinity. So f of x is our y. So we're looking what happens to f of x or y as x approaches negative infinity. So negative infinity is to the left because we said, right, this is like a number line. Numbers get bigger to the right and they get smaller to the left. So as we go more and more left, what happens to our y? Well, as I go on forever in this direction, my line is going this way and it's getting smaller and smaller. It's going more toward these negative y values. And it goes on forever. So it is approaching negative infinity. As x approaches positive infinity or to the right end behavior. This is also getting taller and taller as it goes, which means my y values are getting bigger and bigger, and it approaches positive infinity. And last question, is it continuous? Yes, there's no holes in it. I could draw this line, never pick up my pen, so yes, it is continuous. All right, let's take a look at one more on the homework. Let's maybe try one with some holes. How about number 5? All right, so we're looking first for domain and range. So if I look at this one, my x values, this arrow goes forever in this direction, and it's going to keep getting a little bit wider as it goes. So it's going to keep going forever in the negative direction. So negative infinity. But then as I go this way, it stops right here, right at 0. And it includes 0. I should have it underneath. So I'm including 0, and I have this gap. There's nothing in between here, and I start up again here, where x is 1, and it does not include 1. So I'm going to join two sets together. It starts again at 1, and then this goes forever, and it gets a little bit wider and wider and wider as it goes, so it's going to approach positive infinity. So that's my domain. My y values, well, my arrows go down, down, down forever. So it's going to go all the way to negative infinity, but it only goes up here. It doesn't, there's nothing higher than this, and this is 1, 2, 3. And it includes it because even though this one is an open circle, this is also at 3 and it is closed circle, so I am including 3. So now my x-intercept, I have 2. I have 1 here and 1 here. And again, x-intercepts, make sure you have, right, we write points x comma y. Make sure you have the actual place where it intercepts in the first spot, the x spot. So here it's at -1, and then I put the 0. And here it's at 1, 2, 3, 4. Our y-intercept, well, it touches right here. And that's at 1, 2, 3. So that point is 0, 3. Now for increasing. So remember, I'm going uphill, and this part is going uphill, so this is increasing. I'm going up, 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 I'm rising. And my increasing increment starts at negative infinity because this arrow shows it goes on forever down there. So negative infinity, and then I'm going up, 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 up till I get to this point here. Remember, I'm using my x values. This point here is 0 because my x is 0. And then that's it. I only have one increasing increment. Now my decreasing, it's going downhill here. So it starts here where x is 1. And again, it goes on forever. So it's forever going down, 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 all the way to negative. I'm sorry, it's not going down. We're talking about x's. So it's going down and getting wider and wider and wider all the way to positive x. So, and I almost forgot too as I was doing this. Increasing and decreasing, you're looking at your x values. So here, yes, it's going down, but it's also getting wider and wider and wider. So my x's are going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the way to infinity. And I don't have any horizontal lines, so I don't have any constant intervals. So now I have as f of x, what's going to happen to f of x or y as x approaches negative infinity, and what's going to happen to my f of x or y as x approaches positive infinity. So negative infinity means I'm going to the left. And as I go to the left, we can see it's going down, 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 down forever, or approaching negative infinity. And as I go to the right, it's also going down, 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 or also negative infinity.